In the game, these are the points. And the bigger marbles are shooters.
If I'm doing bad with one of these, it's always back to the brown one because, well, I can't miss with the brown one.
I hold it like this and then I just flick my thumb.
That's your lucky marble? Has it been lucky?
Yeah.
Do you have your own set of marbles that you practice with?
Me and my brother share. And I like the little ones because of how they reflect on your face.
Yeet! All you have to do, you just shoot. I put my marble on my knuckle. I just shoot.
It's an early summer morning on the beach in Wildwood, New Jersey. Soon, the sands just beyond the boardwalk will be taken over by a vigorous competition, a battle for bragging rights that have for decades been claimed by children from the Pittsburgh area. A band of these young competitors has journeyed here, and they're ready. But to understand their story, we have to travel many miles and many days backward to Pittsburgh, to a small space tucked under the Bloomfield Bridge.
It's always a battle to try to fill the holes. The kids are shooting marbles. If it's just a little divot, the marble might go this way or that way.
Later today, children and their coaches will gather here to practice marbles.
Good hard shot, though. That's what you wanted. That's better than the last one.
They will fold themselves onto the ring, place a marble between thumb and forefinger, and push.
Good shot.
Over and over again. This game and versions of it go back decades.
This is the way they used to play it.
Before there were official tournaments and coaches, there were neighborhood games that started with a circle scratched into the dirt and a bag of marbles.
This is a cat's eye marble, a target marble made out of glass, a flint, which is a little bit lighter stone, an agate, which we prefer to shoot with, and this is a swirly. In the 20s, 30s, especially Depression time, a bag of marbles was about all they could afford. So the kids used to play each other, and if I knocked your marbles out, I got to keep them, and if the other kid knocked mine out, well, they got to keep mine.
Ed Ritchie learned to play while growing up on the South Side.
My grandfather was Walt Lease. He got started with marbles when he got out of the service, got a city parks job, and he started to learn how to shoot marbles, and he wanted to show the kids.
And show them he did, pulling generations of children into the game and making the Pittsburgh area a powerhouse. Compared to other games and sports, the marbles community here is small, but it's mighty. Since the national tournament began in 1922, Pittsburgh area kids have won it all 33 times, including 14 times since 2004. You can trace the success back to the 4th and 5th grade classrooms, where Ed Ritchie and other coaches are introducing a new generation to the game through a program long supported by Allegheny County.
Now, your first shot, when you take your first shot, has to be taken from outside the circle in the green, like that.
The game is called Ringer, and it's played by 2 opponents in a 10-foot ring. The object of the game is to be the first player to hit 7 marbles out of the ring.
You take your shooter and you get to shoot it at the rack of 13 marbles.
Shooter marbles are about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. The target marbles, called mibs, are smaller.
Now, if you hit a marble and your shooter stays inside the 10-foot ring, you get to go until you miss. Once you miss, it's your opponent's turn. It's about putting the right amount of spin and setting yourself up for the next shot to kind of hit and go on a run and hit those 7 marbles out.
Just like in baseball, when both players have a turn, it's called an inning. In competition, most games last 3 innings or more. Along with the rules of the game, the students are learning a different way to use their thumbs, not for texting or video games, but for something slower and low tech.
They're really good with using and manipulating their fingers, and this you really have to have that art with how to really flick those balls and get them to knock off and earn those points. It's almost like bringing this lost art back.
No! Stop it! You win!
Marcus wins.
Marbles is like old school.
What skills do you think you bring that allowed you to win today?
Definitely strategy and confidence.
Okay, Nico.
The kids who seem to be getting the hang of it here get an invitation.
1 and you shoot again.
I've been qualified to play in the Allegheny County Marbles Championship Tournament. And the winners of the county tournament, 2 boys and 2 girls, will receive an all-expense-paid trip to Wildwood by the Sea, New Jersey, to compete in the 96th National Marbles Tournament.
Nico didn't go to the county tournament because he had a spelling bee that weekend, but lots of other kids did go.
Devion and Kimon are playing first.
For 3 days in May, the marbles world moves into the shadow of the Allegheny County Courthouse.
Flat. Because now you know you're gonna lift. So lift it and shoot it. There you go.
The coaching happens between the games, but not during them. Once they step onto the ring, the players are on their own.
Feeling pretty excited. Just can't get mad when I lose because that just sets you back.
So Gavin, you did great today, and if you win all your games tomorrow, then you'll be in the top 8 boys on Saturday.
Okay.
Among the leaders are Brian Lemon and Gavin Held, who were champions here last year. They're struggling a bit with injuries.
Does it hurt? Marble actually
A little.
Yes, there are injuries in marbles.
Yes, my blister does hurt a lot when I shoot.
By day 2, some newcomers had pushed to the top,
I already played all my games.
including Sarah Granesco
I won them all.
and Tristan White.
Why are you so good at this? I think about my family and I practice.
Ages for competitors are 7 to 14, gathering the very young with those who are close to being able to drive themselves to practice. Typical athletic ability isn't required, but the players who win have something in common.
A lot of it's hand strength. We can teach anybody how to do it. You have to want to go home and practice. And it's not something you're gonna learn, shooting twice a week or 3 times a week.
Here are in the boys' finals, second game of the finals. Gavin Held's playing Tristan. Gavin's up 1 game to none. He's starting off his first shot.
For the second year in a row, Gavin won the boys' division with Tristan the runner-up. And in the girls' final, it was Sarah against Storm.
Sarah's setting up to take her next shot. Oh, right through the middle. Shoots. She gets 1 out and out. I think she's winning now. 5-2 Storm.
How do you think the sun is affecting the play right now?
Well, the sun beating off of that ring can get pretty bright. Sometimes they shoot blind almost because they can't see what they're shooting at. Storm sets up for another shot. And that's game. Storm wins the title.
The girls' champion, Storm Daisiak. Our boys' champion, Gavin Held.
Well, congratulations. How's that crown feel on your head?
Loose.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm telling you.
I was 8 when I first played, and then I came in 3rd place, and I tied for last in the Wildwood.
Gavin Held has to make room on his bedroom shelf for the trophy he won at the county championships. In just 3 years, he has gathered some bling.
This is my winning marbles from 2018 that I won the county with, and then that you keep your winning marbles.
He likes to look at the trophies when he plays video games here.
I mean, I could make this out of concrete.
Whoa.
And then down in the garage, his hands get a different workout on the marbles ring his dad built.
I mean, it's repetition, that's all it is.
Having won the county, Gavin was practicing for the nationals.
It's about power and backspin. This is spin, and then whenever you hit your marble, it could still be spinning.
He's as serious about marbles as any 11-year-old is about any game, even though his friends don't get it.
Whenever they realize there's money you can get, they'll change.
Gavin has tucked that marble into the crook of his thumb probably hundreds of thousands of times. Still, he says it's mostly a brain game.
If you're smart and like you think a lot, it'll be better because you can like think about like where the marble hits. So if you hit it on like the left side, like your marble will go this way and then the marble will go out, so then your would stick in.
So it's been great for him.
Like many players, Gavin came to the game by way of family. His stepmother was a local winner back in the 70s.
That's how I ended up getting him to start, was because he was struggling with some social skills and some friends, having a hard time. Brought him in, you know, and had him shoot marbles, and he met everybody, and everybody was so nice, and he opened up more and more and more.
You got it wrong. I had 7.
Who are your best friends for marbles?
Brian, Tristan, Sam. Oh yeah, Madison too.
Gavin is ready to win in New Jersey. He says a national championship will look good on a college application. He wants to be a veterinarian.
I'm gonna practice a lot, and I'm gonna win.
I've always been somebody that likes to teach, to pass on what I know. My name's Dan Legamba. I'm the 1997 National Marbles Tournament runner-up. I took it upon myself to really teach kids the game, to really grow it. I knew that where I was from in Lawrenceville was a hotbed for marble players at one point in time, and I really wanted to get Lawrenceville back on the map for that.
For Dan, there's something almost sacred about his visits to this lonesome old Catholic school gym. He ran around the St. Mary's Lyceum when he was a kid. The space now is mostly used for marbles practice on the stage.
People are coming to me every day, hey, can you teach my kid? Hey, my son's 5. Will you still be doing it in a couple of years? Can you teach him? You know, we don't turn anybody away. People of all athletic abilities, you know, shapes and sizes, as they say, can really come in here and learn how to shoot a marble.
It's been an organized game for going on a century, a game that is virtually untouched by technology or even progress.
It's still this ancient game the way it was played many years ago. There's not some camera sitting over the ring judging, oh, that marble's out or that marble's in, or, you know, this kid shot the marble too hard. There's not a radar gun out there or anything like that. You can get 13 marbles in a shooter for $1.25 maybe, maybe 10 cents a marble. So yeah, it's not very expensive to start.
He was not yet 10 when he first learned to play. The memories of that time are trapped in the amber light of this gym and in the many car rides he took with his dad.
He would drive me once a month, every weekend to Maryland to practice for 12, 14 hours a day, and we'd get back in the car and we'd drive 3.5 hours back home, talking about different things. I don't know if he knows or remembers or like what the conversations were about, but I do, you know, and I think that's what matters. Just those car rides were pretty special to me. Here I am, 36 years old, and still doing marbles, and still talk to him every day, and he's still involved too, so that means a lot.
Second place was as far as he got at nationals. The sting of it has softened with the years.
It kind of hurt, but it taught me how to deal with things like that and move forward and how to grow from it. I was a baseball player. I was the basketball player. I played in this gym that we're sitting in right now. It really expanded in my childhood where I got out of my comfort zone, really took something that I didn't know and was able to run with it.
And now there's another Daniel.
His name's Daniel John, and he's 4 years old. He's got his own little set of marbles, and he gets on the ground and he says, "Hey Dad, watch this," and he flicks the marble out there. So yeah, I think he's gonna do it. I really do, and I'm excited. I can't wait to teach him, you know, not just marbles, but definitely everything.
It's been a lot of years, so you know, it's 45 years for me. So.
Larry Kokas won the Nationals in 1974. His friend Rick Usner won it a few years after that, just days before aging out at 14.
It was do or die for me because that was my last year to shoot. If I didn't win, I was done. So, I mean, I knew going into that year that that was going to be my last year of shooting.
These former champs and some coaches were gathered to remember.
I know all these guys I'm sitting here with tonight through marbles.
And the memories are still vibrant.
When I think back on my childhood, marbles played a tremendous role in who I am. I'll say that. So it was a pretty good experience for a young child, especially growing up in Lawrenceville. Then it wasn't the hipster place it is now.
I haven't shot marbles probably since I was 16. I mean, when I was shooting, it was a great feeling, and we had a lot of good times because it was so competitive then that you always wanted to beat the other guy. So I would have missed that.
It's been a long time since I've shot marbles, but you still remember the people you played against.
Back in Wildwood, it was the eve of the big event. Pittsburgh kids were ready. All the practice and blisters and scraped knees had come down to this moment. The chance to defend their hometown's long tradition of domination here.
This is my 4th year, probably. Yeah. So I've been here a few times.
Yeah, she was a little nervous, you know. I mean, but the first day's always nervous.
Welcome to the 96th anniversary of the National Marbles Tournament.
Just to be careful what they're doing, because a stove's finger or a stove's thumb could put you right back into the bottom of the pack.
Going into each game is like, will I win, maybe not.
Before the competition could begin, the players had to prove their shooter marbles were regulation size.
Good luck today. A couple of them didn't get through today, but with a little twist they did.
Let's keep these marbles rolling.
They would play dozens of games on 10 rings stretched out under the hot sun.
On deck in the boys division, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, Tristan White.
I'm Tristan's aunt. This is his first time for the National Marble Contest.
I felt scared that I was never going to get as far as I thought I would.
He's done good. I think he won 3 games so far. This is his first 4, I'm sorry.
On deck in the ladies division, from Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, Storm Stasiak.
I won 2 games.
On deck in the boys division, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Brian Lemon.
Some of these kids here can get 7 marbles out on the first shot. A lot of competition there.
The sun is definitely an issue, like especially when it's in your eyeballs and you're trying to take a shot. It glares off the board a lot, and then it ends up in your eyes, and you can't see the marbles, and the shadows are always an issue. Yeah, it's kind of rough.
It's hard. It's really hard because there's a lot of good competition, and like you said, the heat is really bad, so it's hard.
The marbles game is baked into the life of this town. A few blocks from the beach is the Hall of Fame.
Trophies, awards from past champions that they wanted to donate to the museum.
Wildwood and marbles work themselves into the very DNA of families. Ed and Maureen Ritchie met here.
We had a great time. And like she says, I called her and we started dating.
5 years later, we got married.
And they have 2 daughters. Amber and Sierra were national champs.
Amazing, like it's crazy to think, like it doesn't feel like I won, but like I did.
And their friend Madison Johnson won the crown last year.
I'm excited to crown the next person because like I'm really hoping it's somebody from Pittsburgh once again. So every year after you win, you normally make a board and then they put them in the Hall of Fame. This was right whenever I hugged my coach after winning. And then these are just friends that I met because like I just wanted them on my board.
And back on the beach, the first day of competition was nearing the end, and the Pittsburgh players were doing well.
Sarah and Gavin are in the top 8. They've got the best positions right now.
But now I'm less nervous because I don't have to play the people I know.
The Pittsburgh kids would sleep well, knowing they were in good position for tomorrow. Day 2 brought closer games. The more experienced players moved up in the rankings. For newcomers like Tristan, it was a building year.
And basically that's what we told them. Come down here, shoot the best you can. Get as far up the ladder as you can on the standings. And then next year we can make a bigger push to get them into the top 8.
Sam Popovchak was another first-timer from Pittsburgh.
I think I'm going to do good. I think I'm going to do really good tomorrow.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
He's so happy. He just, it's his element. It feels like he just thrives on this kind of interaction.
In the ring, it was a battle for all the marbles. Outside the ring, it was a battle to see who would stop shaking hands first.
I love how you're able to do that.
Maybe it has something to do with the pull of the moon on the tides, but this game has a way of pulling people together, turning rivals to friends.
I want to introduce you to my new friend, Charlie. He's from Colorado.
And where'd you meet him?
Right here when we were playing a game. Well, we met them at the Marble Lady over there. We were checking out marbles and we just bumped into each other. Then the next game we played together and we just found out that that we're best friends.
Really fun to meet new friends.
You guys think you'll see each other again?
I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we might look a lot different.
Yeah, we got little things to remember each other.
Never recognized this guy without his backwards hat.
What do you have to remember each other?
I have this. Charlie gave it to me. And Charlie, you have the coin?
Yeah, so we found this 2016 nickel starting to turn the color of the Statue of Liberty, so cool.
Yeah, and Charlie found this in the sand. He gave it to me. It's super cool.
I found
What
a
is
tiny,
that? It's
tiny
a little soldier.
Tiny toy soldier made by world's smallest.
It's the kind of instant friendship that can only happen in the summer when you're away from home. So where are you going to keep these?
In my bedroom next to my bed.
I'll probably the same. Yeah. I sleep on a top bunk, so I don't really have a bed stand.
Yeah, I sleep in a top bunk too.
That to me is what marbles is all about, right? It's about getting there and making that friend that's 3/4 of the way across the country. And I went to Doug, my buddy, and I said, dude, this is what it was all about. I said, 20 years ago, that was you and me, man.
I grew up playing marbles. I was a former champ in this tournament. And, you know, I thought there's more to this game than just playing.
We're best friends. I mean, we've kept in touch. We still see each other. We're on the National Marbles Tournament Committee together. We talk all the time.
The king and queen will be crowned in the game of Ringer. That king and queen will receive a $2,000 scholarship.
Day 3 brought intense heat from sun and from opponents for the Pittsburgh players.
From Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, Gavin Hill.
Only Gavin would make it to the semifinals.
Next year I'm going to try to win. I really wanted to win this year though because my friend who's on my team won, and so she would have crowned me, but it's fine.
I was sad, and I didn't want to cry in front of her, so I just went back and cried and got it over with.
It's my last year, so it was like very stressful that it would have been okay if I didn't win it all, but I just wanted to make it in the top 8.
Gavin held strong through most of the semifinals, but in the end, Pittsburgh's last chance for the crown did not advance to the finals. It had come down to one marble.
He's still young. I mean, he's only 11. I mean, next year's the year, I say.
I mean, all I can say is for all the competitors for next year in the boys league, probably just better watch out and start practicing from now until next year.
Gavin Held from Moon Township, Pennsylvania, would come in 5th. So it wasn't Pittsburgh's year.
I'm pretty sure I can take first next year.
But even when you don't win it all in the ring,
I was mad, sad, a lot of different emotions.
And even if the friendships that started there are hobbled by distance and can't last beyond the beach, there will always be the life that happens around the rings. Family and friends, and sand and sunshine.
Hug.
At the end of the day, marbles is a part of summer. You look forward to summer.
You can teach other people, and it's just a fun game.
If I had never shot marbles, there would be a hole in my life because I wouldn't have the friends that I would have.
Those were the times. Show me how you do that. That a boy.
And that summer sunshine flows down through the generations and onto a handful of marbles.
The thing about marbles is it gives a kid a childhood the way a childhood was meant to be.
A whole world of fun that is spinning more slowly for a while.
So take me back to the good old days. Ice cream until our heads.
What do you like about Wildwood?
The free ice cream, definitely. And then the kids from everywhere.
Trying not to laugh.
What do you do to get yourself in the right mindset?
I just try to block out, just close my ears. Sometimes when you practice at home, you have siblings that are younger and they might swallow them, so I have to put them up.
Those were the ways.
Do you see any similarities between being a good speller and being a good marbles player?
Probably practicing.
If the kid wants to learn, these guys can make him a national champion.
People dig their feet in the sand because it's very relaxing.
And we never get to be at the beach.
Yep.
We never at the beach.
Colorado doesn't have Grand Junction. You never get to go to the beach.
No, never.
The good old days.